Agenda setting. This technique is the media's ability to shape what the public thinks is important. By repeatedly and prominently covering certain topics, news outlets influence which issues dominate public attention, even without telling people what to think. Appeal to fear. This technique builds support by spreading anxiety or panic, convincing people that a threat is imminent and action is urgently required. Appeal to prejudice. It exploits existing biases, framing ideas or groups as morally good or bad based on stereotypes rather than facts. Inevitable victory. This strategy suggests success is guaranteed, encouraging undecided individuals to join the winning side while reassuring supporters they made the right choice. Join the crowd, or bandwagon. Audiences are told that a movement is unstoppable and widely supported, implying that joining is both smart and socially expected. Beautiful people. Often used in advertising, this technique associates a product or ideology with attractive, happy, or successful people, suggesting that following it will lead to the same outcome. The big lie. The idea that a massive falsehood is more believable than a small one, because people struggled to imagine someone fabricating something so extreme. Classical conditioning. A neutral stimulus is repeatedly paired with a strong emotional response, cognitive dissonance. This exploits people's desire for consistency. If someone admires a figure who supports an idea they oppose, their endorsement can soften or change their views. Plain folk. The propagandist presents themselves as an ordinary person with common-sense values, often shown doing everyday activities to gain trust. Cult of personality. An individual uses media to construct a heroic, idealized image, encouraging unquestioning loyalty while promoting specific agendas. Demonizing the enemy. Opponents are portrayed as immoral, dangerous, or subhuman to justify hostility or extreme actions against them. Demoralization. Propaganda aimed at weakening an adversary's morale, encouraging surrender, apathy, or defection. Diktat. Simplifies decisions by presenting only one acceptable choice, often through commanding language and imagery. Disinformation. The deliberate creation, alteration, or removal of information to produce a false version of events, including fake documents, images, or recordings. Divide and rule. Power is maintained by breaking opposition into smaller, weaker groups that are easier to control. Euphemism. Harsh or unpleasant realities are softened through mild or vague language to reduce emotional impact. Euphoria. Positive emotions are manufactured through celebrations, luxury, or patriotic displays to boost morale and distract from problems. FUD, or fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Negative or misleading information is spread to undermine confidence and credibility, often overlapping with fear-based appeals. Fire hose of falsehood. A flood of rapid, repetitive messages is broadcast across many platforms, prioritizing volume over truth or consistency. Flag waving. An action or belief is justified by appealing to patriotism or loyalty to a group, country, or ideology. Flack. Organized efforts to discredit critics or challenge prevailing assumptions through complaints, pressure, or attacks. Foot in the door technique. A small request is made first, creating psychological obligation that increases the likelihood of agreeing to larger demands later. Framing. Facts are presented within a specific narrative that shapes how audiences interpret an issue. Gish gallop. Overwhelming an opponent with rapid-fire arguments or questions, making rebuttal difficult and creating the illusion of dominance. Glittering generalities. Emotionally appealing words like freedom or progress are used without clear definitions, seeking approval without scrutiny. Guilt by association. An idea is discredited by linking it to unpopular individuals or groups. Half-truth. Information that is technically true but incomplete or selectively presented to mislead. Information overload. Audiences are buried in excessive information, making understanding and decision-making nearly impossible. Intentional vagueness. Statements are kept deliberately unclear to avoid accountability and deflect criticism. Labeling. Using derogatory or simplistic terms to define people or groups, reducing complex identities to stereotypes. Latitudes of acceptance. Extreme positions are introduced first so that more moderate ideas appear reasonable by comparison. Limited hangout. Partial truths are revealed to satisfy curiosity while hiding more damaging information. Loaded language. Words with strong emotional connotations are used to influence reactions rather than reason. Love bombing. Excessive affection and attention are used to recruit or isolate individuals from their previous beliefs and support systems. Milieu control. Communication and environment are tightly controlled, often through group language or norms that discourage outside influence. Obfuscation. Messages are intentionally made confusing to prevent understanding or accountability. Operant conditioning. Behavior is shaped through rewards and punishments to encourage conformity or compliance. Oversimplification. Complex issues are reduced to simple explanations that ignore nuance and alternatives. Paltering. Selective use of truthful statements to create a misleading impression. Pensée unique. Enforcing a single acceptable way of thinking by reducing debate to slogans or simplistic arguments. Quotes out of context. Selective editing of statements to change or distort their original meaning. Rationalization. Uncomfortable beliefs or actions are justified with seemingly logical explanations. Repetition. Repeated symbols, phrases, or slogans increase familiarity and acceptance over time. Scapegoating. Blame is shifted onto individuals or groups to distract from deeper issues or responsible parties. Semantic satiation. A word is repeated so often that it loses emotional impact and becomes normalized. Smear campaign. A coordinated effort to damage a person's or group's reputation through persistent negative messaging. Testimonials. Quotes or endorsements, sometimes taken out of context, are used to lend credibility. Third-party technique. Messages are delivered through seemingly independent or neutral sources to increase trust. Transfer. Positive or negative qualities associated with one person or symbol are projected onto another. Unstated assumptions. Ideas are implied rather than stated outright, making them harder to challenge. Whataboutism. Criticism is deflected by accusing the opponent of hypocrisy instead of addressing the argument. Misuse of statistics. Data is presented in misleading ways to distort perception and support a narrative.